comfortably. And just be easy as you lengthen up. And if you know you want blankets, grab them to sit on. Whether you sit cross-legged or long-legged, it doesn't matter. And then just let your hands come to a really comfortable place so that you can feel released all the way up through your arms into your shoulders. So you feel easy to widen really across your chest and across your upper back. And you can just watch your breath coming in and going out through your nose. And see if you can just watch. Just let yourself accept your breaths however they need to come in and go out. Next exhale, let your left hand come onto your chest and your right hand just come down onto your belly, around your navel. And then just keep breathing. Fold our arms right on down beside us here now. And we'll inhale the arms all the way out and up overhead. And let our exhale bring our hands right down to be in front of our chest, in front of our hearts. And then let's reverse and inhale the hands right on up through the midline. And on the exhale, open the arms on back out and down like wings. And then just let yourself shift side to side. So it's like you're rocking side to side. Doesn't matter where you put your hands. Just enjoy shifting from one sit bone to the other. When you shift to the one might come up a little bit. Not very much probably, but just a little rocking side to side. And then the next time you rock to your right, stay there. Put your right hand down and use your left hand now just to encourage your left knee a little more away from you. You can just kind of press down and a little out. So you find a little more release here through this side waist right there. And then rock back to center. We're going to go to the other side. So the left hand comes down and the right hand just encourages. Just kind of push it away a little more from you, maybe even a little down too. Let yourself release there. And then from here, just roll on forward. And you can put your hands on the floor to give you support, keeping a nice long back here if you choose. Or maybe you prefer to fold farther forward, letting yourself bend your elbows. Really depends on how your back feels today. Just be mindful. Let your head hang. And one more breath. And then walk yourself on back up. Now remember which leg you have in front, crossed. From here, we're going to bring ourselves into soles of the feet towards each other. But what we're going to do is lift our feet up. So we balance just for a second here. So just think about holding maybe your ankles. I mean, you're welcome to hold your feet if you want. That's totally up to you and how it feels in your hips. Let yourself wake up through the belly and the low back. Just a little balanced Baddha Konasana there. Good. Engaging the back and the front. We're going to go ahead now and switch the cross of the legs. And again, coming on up to sitting nice and tall, hands on out on the floor beside us. Let's inhale both arms all the way out and up overhead. And then clasp your hands up there, turn your palms away from you. You know you can bring your hands forward if you need to for your shoulders. Come on over to the right into a bit of a side stretch there now. Pressing up into the heel of the left hand. Letting yourself just feel the breath, expanding the left ribs. And then we'll rise on back up to the top, and we're going to go to the other side. So pressing into the heel of that right hand, breathing into the right ribs. And then rising on back up again to the top. If it feels good to look up, do. If it bothers your neck to do that, don't look up. And then we're going to release our hands and bring them on down behind us and clasp your hands back here. Interlace your fingers and clasp your hands, and then come on forward and think about leading with your chest, coming into that seated forward bend. And then let your head be in line with your spine, so try not to lift your chin up and tighten the back of your neck and throat, but feel long. You can go as far as you want. You can lay all the way over with your head down to the ground if it feels fine. And if you feel like reaching your arms a little off your back to wake up a little more in your shoulders, or go farther if you want, that's up to you. And we're going to start to slowly rise up from here, so bringing yourself all the way on back up. And let your hands come behind you. Bring your knees on up in the air here now. And then you may want to go to flat hands. Let your chest come forward. Open through the chest a little bit here. And then come on back up. Let's stretch our left leg long. Keep your right foot to the inside of your left leg somewhere, because all we're going to do is come on around into a twist. So bringing your right hand on around behind you. It doesn't matter how low or how high your foot is to the inside of your leg. And you can let your arm come across. You can hook your elbow around your knee if you've got your knee up close to your chest. One more breath here. And then use your belly to bring you on back around into center. And pick up that right leg for a second and let yourself just really allow the weight of the leg to come into your hands as you just rock it a little bit side to side. Let yourself really release in that hip there. If you want to pull your leg in closer because you're built to such that feels even better, you can hug the leg in closer to you. Just be mindful. Let the hip release there. Good. And then we're going to come on back down. We're going to switch legs to bring that leg long and bring the left foot in. Again, it can be as high or low as you want on your inside leg. And then come on around into that twist again, wherever you like your hands to go. Lengthening up through the top of your head, letting yourself enjoy. Find that sense of twist in the middle of the back. Sitting bones in the ground. Good, so one more breath here. And as you bring yourself back on around in the center. Again, let yourself take hold of that lower leg. Be mindful. Let it move around a little bit if you choose to circle it, or I like the rocking, but you can kind of move however feels good for you. You can draw the leg in closer if that feels better, or keep the leg further away, but let yourself really find that release in the hip there. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring our legs on back along again. Separate your feet a little bit. Point your feet and flex your feet a couple of times. And as you do, just let yourself feel how that feels in the backs of your legs. Feel your calves waking up behind your knees. And then when you point, feel how you feel your thighs tighten up. And just enjoy moving through your feet a little bit there. And shake it out a bit. We're going to come around towards our hands and knees, so you know, get acclimated however you need. If you need a blanket under your knees or under your hands, or if you're like, oh, my hands and wrists just don't want to do this today, you can get out of them totally. You can come onto your forearms, on your blocks or the floor. But take your time, get yourself there established, and when you get ready to move through your cat-cows, just be mindful. Take your time to feel the tailbone initiating. Appreciate feeling that ease of flowing through your back. Stop in either cat or cow if you want to, or keep moving continuously if you'd rather. Good. One more breath here. And then come on back to a more neutral spine. And let's curl our toes under. Lift our knees a little bit up off the floor, just a little bit at first. There you are, really into your hands, your shoulders, your arms. And then we're going to reach back into down dog. So now as you feel that sense of pressing back out of your hands, reaching back equally through your sitting bones. Hug your elbows towards each other. If you need to, let your hands come a little bit different distance apart or a little bit different any way you need to be, go ahead and adjust. And slowly walk your dog. Let one heel at a time descend towards the ground. Really enjoy waking up through the backs of the legs. If you need to turn your head side to side, do. Let your neck go. Good. And come on back to that full dog. And then from here, let's bring our knees down and shift back towards child's pose briefly. Once you get there, if you're able to bend your elbows and put your hands on your upper back, do. Let yourself release that way. Feel your heart melting down towards the ground. Bring our arms back along overhead. We're going to come back up. You might want to grab your blocks. We're going to step our left foot forward. Let's keep our right knee down and shift our hips forward, pressing into the top of the right foot here. So take your time, get whatever height you want to. If you'd rather be higher on your blocks rather than lower, do. Just really enjoy starting to open up through the front of that right hip. Not forcing anything. Let it feel really good. And then we're going to switch legs. So just shifting back, put the left knee down, bringing the right foot forward. And then again, shifting your hips as far forward as feels good for you. So you can press into the top of the left foot. Feeling engaged there in the front of the left hip. Good. And now from here, curl the toes under back there of that left foot and just lift that left knee up off the floor, coming on into your lunge here. Pressing the feet gently away from each other. And then let's straighten that right knee out a little bit. Let your hips shift back. Let your heel just descend a little more towards the floor back there. You're welcome to pick up your right foot if you want and be on your heel, if that helps you get a little more into your hamstring there. And then lower the foot on back down. Bend the knee back into your full lunge. And we're going to switch legs. So we'll bring that left foot forward and the right foot back. And now we're in that full lunge. Again, coming into that lunge, draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Press the feet gently away from each other. Engage your belly a little bit. And then we'll straighten that front leg out. And again, let the right heel just descend directly back. If you do like to pick the left foot up and be on your left heel, you can. It's not necessary if it feels good. And then we'll put the foot back down. We're going to bend the front knee and come back into lunge. And we're going to come on forward into standing forward bend. So coming into Uttanasana, letting your feet get parallel as you can. Get your feet just that distance apart where it feels good for you. And then just release where you need to go. Elbows above knees if you want to. Using your hands on the blocks. Or if you need to have support, hands on the blocks. Or releasing all the way forward if you want. And just accept your breaths here. Again, that same thing as at the beginning when we didn't try to control, we just watched the breath. Watching the breath coming in and going out through your nose. Good, so one more breath here. And then let your arms be like wings. As you bend your knees and rise up, let the arms come all the way out and up overhead. And on the exhale, bring your hands down together in front of your heart. And now inhale your hands right up through the midline and open them into a T position with the palms up for a second. So your palms face up. You're letting yourself just feel very receiving here with the palms upward. Enjoy feeling as wide as you can. Feel the feet equally into the floor. And then as you exhale, bring your hands gently right together in front of your heart. Let your elbows soften down. Let yourself feel connected there through your fingers, your thumbs, whatever part of your palms touch here. Lightly. We'll unfold our arms again on down beside us. Let's inhale the arms back straight out from the shoulders. Turn the palms up again. So find that sense of reaching out, shoulders softening down. Feel the muscles around the underneath sides of your arms, really kind of holding your arms up there. And then as you inhale again, let the arms come up higher, only as high as you choose, obviously. And on the exhale, we're going to bend the knees and come on forward into standing forward bend. And on your next inhale, find a nice long flat back. Lengthen out through that spine. And we'll step the right foot back to come into lunge. And inhale. Exhale into your downward facing dog pose. So finding that dog again now. Just spread those fingers wide. Let yourself feel your heart melting a little bit back. And then feet a little closer together. See if you can wrap your right foot around the back of your left ankle, right? So your weight is all on your left foot back there. And you can really get a sense of the calf going, oh, nice release. And then put that right foot down. We're going to switch and kind of hook the left foot around the back of the right ankle there. Enjoy that release in the back of that leg. And then we'll come back again to both feet. Walk a little bit in your dog, elbows hug inward, let yourself be mindful there. And on your next inhale, come on out to plank. Nice and strong plank. Engage your belly, bend your elbows a little bit, and then come back to straighter arms. Do that one more time. Bend your elbows like you have a beach ball between them. And then come on back, and now we're going to lower down. So if you'd like to put your knees down first, do. Elbows right by the ribs. So let's come on up into a little Sphinx. Let your elbows come pretty close to under your shoulders, depending on how this feels for you. And turn your hands so that the palms face up for a second. Really spread your fingers out. Your thumbs probably won't reach the floor. That's fine. Just let yourself really spread the fingers. Feel the backs of the hands into the floor. And then just lift the hands up and flip them back over so you have the palms down. Let yourself enjoy finding your Sphinx pose here, really easily keeping your head in a place that's comfortable. And we're going to release all the way back down to the floor. And we're going to come back to down dog. Whether you come back through a half or a full push-up, that is totally up to you. Making your way into your down dog. If you need to walk anytime coming into dog, do, or bend both your knees, of course. And we'll bring the right foot forward to find lunge here. And then we'll come all the way back into standing forward bend. Feet hips distance apart and parallel. Easy, nice full breaths. Feeling the movement of the body as you breathe in and out. And as we let our hands come back up to our hips, We'll press into our feet and rise on up to standing and inhale our arms out and up overhead. And on our exhale, bring our hands down together in front of our hearts. Let's inhale our hands right back up through the midline. On the exhale, open the arms like wings as you come forward. And on your next inhale, find that flat back. Now stay here for a second. Let your hands support you however you need. They can be on your legs, they can be on your blocks. You can have your fingertips on the floor if you want, in front of your toes. And now press your feet away from each other like you're trying to make your mat wider with your feet, but don't let your feet roll to the outside. Good, and we're going to step our left foot back and come into lunge. And inhale. Exhale into that downward facing dog pose. Spread those fingers wide. Good, let your next inhale bring you out to your plank. We're going to walk the plank a little bit. Bend your right knee, come to the top of your right foot. Press into the top of the right toes. And then uncurl that foot and go back into your full plank. And then bend your left knee, come to the top of the foot, press into the top of the toes. And then uncurl the foot to come back again. We're going to do that again. Right foot comes, right knee down, and then we're going to reach back again to full plank, and left, and reach back again to full plank. From here, we're going to lower down. Knees first if you need. Elbows right by the ribs. Now let's come on into a little cobra. Let it be little. Don't go up too high yet. Just barely use your hands a little bit there for support. Let yourself feel your back body engaging to lift you up. And then if you do want to go higher, go for it. You can press into your hands and come up higher if you choose. Letting yourself open through the front of the body, however is best for you. Remember, you don't want to lock your elbows. Elbows a little bent inward towards your ribs. We're going to shift back towards pose of a child. And once you get towards pose of a child here, walk your hands over towards the right. And then, once you get to the right, put your left hand on top of your right hand. And see if you can stay here for a breath. And then walk back through center with your hands. We're going to go to the left. So once you get as far as you think you want to be, put your right hand over to be on top of your left hand. And then just breathe. Good, and then we're going to come on back into center. And from here, we'll come on back to all fours, coming back into downward facing dog pose, reaching back through our sitting bones. And let's bring our left foot forward to come into lunge. And then come on back into standing forward bend. Breathing evenly if you can here now. Starting to really let your inhales and exhales come closer to the same length. And then bringing our hands now back up to our hips, we're going to bend our knees and rise on up and inhale our arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, let our hands come down together in front of our hearts. Finding mountain pose here for a couple of breaths. Just feel really easy here as you feel balanced between your feet. Pelvis aligned, everything else just wants to be right in line. It's so easy to stand in your mountain pose. And as we unfold our arms on down beside us, we'll inhale both arms all the way out and up. And on our exhale, bend our knees and come on forward. Let your inhale lengthen out your spine. And exhale, right foot back to lunge. And inhale, exhale into your down dog. Let your inhale bring you to your plank. And your exhale lower you down. And inhale into your cobra of choice. And exhale back to down dog. Inhale. Exhale, right foot forward to lunge. And inhale. Exhale to your standing forward bend. Bend the knees, rising all the way up to the top of your breath. And let your exhale bring you forward. Inhale, nice long back. Exhale, left foot back to lunge. And inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhaling out to our plank. Exhaling as we lower. Inhale into that Cobra and exhale back to down dog. Inhale. Exhale, left foot forward to lunge and inhale. Exhale to your standing forward bend. Bend the knees, rising all the way to the top. And let your exhale bring you forward. Inhale, nice long back. We're going to come into down dog. You know you can jump, you can walk. Come into your dog. Take your time. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Walk if you need to. Good. And then once you get established and pretty good feeling about your dog, let your next inhale rise your heels way up high. And when you exhale, let them lower back down. Really reach back through your sitting bones. So the inhales rise the heels up, and the exhales lower them down. So just one or two more of those, letting yourself really feel your feet. Good, and we'll finish off in dog. And from here, feet a little closer together. Lift your left leg up in the air behind you. Three-legged dog. Turn the toes down towards the ground. And we're going to bring that left foot forward and through. We're coming up for warrior one. You may want to have your blocks handy here. Bringing yourself on up, adjusting your back foot, letting your hands right away just come to be in front of your chest. Let your gaze come forward and let yourself kind of settle into the pose, right? If you don't feel quite right about something, readjust. Start to get that sense of being even between your feet, feeling that openness here in the front of your right hip. Make sure you feel good about the angle of that back foot. Good, and then we'll unfold the arms on down beside us. Let's inhale the arms all the way out and up overhead. And on the exhale, let the hands come right back down together in front of your chest. Keeping your gaze forward. And now, inhale the hands right up through the midline. And on the exhale, open the arms on back out and down. And now from here, if you want to add your focus, you can. Inhaling the arms out and up. If you want to look up, you can. And on the exhale, as the hands come down, let your gaze come down as well. And then we'll reverse. If you want to follow the hands with your focus, do. And on the exhale, open the arms on back out and down. Good. And this time, let's inhale the arms forward and up. And let yourself come into your warrior one. You're welcome to clasp your hands if you prefer. Send your pointer finger up or keep your hands apart. So you can kind of play with what you want to do here with your arms and your shoulders, where you like your arms to be. And then just, let this be your warrior one, right? Where you feel the most open, the most balanced. Feeling that inhale rising up the front of the body, exhaling down the back of the body. And then as we bring our gaze forward, we're going to release our arms on down beside us. Clasp your hands together here. And we're going to bow forward over this front leg into a humble warrior. Now, you may just want to keep more body up and head just releasing. You may want to fold all the way over the inside of your thigh. And you may even want to let your arms come off your back. That is totally up to you. You know that. One more breath. And then bring your hands on down. We're going to find lunge, so you may want your block. Release that heel directly behind you here now. And now ground your right hand, whether it's on a block or on the floor. And let's come into twist, rising that left arm up. We're going to move a little bit here in the twist, right? So once you have that arm up, take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, turn to look at the floor. Swing that arm down in front of your left shin. And when you inhale, open back into that twist. So exhaling, letting the arm come down, looking down at the floor. And inhaling, rising back up into that twist. And then one more time. Exhaling, bringing yourself down. And then inhaling, coming back to that twist. We're going to stay there for a breath. Really reach into that inner heel and out through the top of your head. And then we'll lower the hand back down, and we're going to come on back into down dog from here. So make your way into your down dog. Go to the tops of the toes 1 foot at a time so that you really release there. Good. come back to dog, and let's put our knees down, right? Keep your toes curled under. See if you can shift your hips back towards your heels. Now, some of you might even want to sit all the way up on the feet to stretch them out. To me, that's almost like excruciating. So, you know, if you feel better to keep your hands on the floor and do this, kind of lift the knees up and down to roll through your feet, you can do that. Or you can just sit, right, for a breath or two, not for long. Good. And then finish off. Bring your hands on back forward. Come to the tops of the feet for a second. Press into the tops of your toes just to let the feet stretch the other way. And now we're going to curl the toes under and come on back into downward facing dog pose. On your next inhale, come on out to a plank. Move into any kind of back bend you want. If you don't want to do one, don't. But if you do, do. You can come on back into down dog. If you want to do any more vinyasas or kriyas, go for it. You're more than welcome to stop. Put your knees down. Stay in dog if you'd rather. Move through vinyasas instead of kriyas. But finish off. Meet back in down dog when you kind of get yourself really evened out there. And from here, we're going to bring our feet a little closer together. Right leg's going to come up in the air. Toes face down. Three-legged dog. Press back out of your hands. Elbows hug towards each other. And we're going to bring that right foot forward and through. We're coming up for warrior one on the other side. So again, you might want your blocks handy there. Take your time. Get situated in your legs. Be easy about feeling that alignment of that back foot so that you feel okay in your knee and up into your hip and in your ankle down there. Hands to the heart for a second. Just letting yourself get into that very nice, quiet warrior one. And then as we unfold our arms down beside us, think about when your arms float out like this and up overhead. When you inhale, feel the lift that happens without you doing anything. And when you exhale, you bring your hands down right through the midline. And then we'll reverse. Inhale the hands up through the midline. And on the exhale, open the arms as far out as you can, reaching away from yourself. And now you can add your focus if you want. Inhaling the arms out and up. And that really does it if you look up, right? Exhale, bring the hands down to bring your gaze back forward. And if you want to follow your hands with your focus too, inhaling up. And as you exhale, open the arms on back down like wings. And this time we're going to rise forward and up. And you decide here whether you want to clasp your hands or open your hands out. Let yourself come into that warrior one. Feet in the floor equally. Think about arches of both feet lifting up. Nice. Now one more breath here. And then as you bring your gaze on back forward, release your arms on down beside you. Let's clasp our hands behind us. And as you exhale, fold. Now maybe again, you may want to stay up pretty high and just let yourself look down. You may want to keep folding forward over that inner thigh. And you may want to let your arms come off your back. From here, let your hands come on down. We're going to establish our lunge, so you might want to, really get adjusted there. Use your blocks under your hands or the floor, whatever you want. And then again, to come into this twist, and you turn to the right, let the right arm float all the way up overhead. Find that twist there for a breath. And then we'll move. So as you look down, you exhale as you bring your gaze down and your arm down. Inhale when you rise back up, lengthen out through the whole body. Exhale when you bring the arm down again. And inhale when you stretch it back up. And one more time. Exhaling as you bring that arm on down. And this time you're going to stay, so really find that full extent of your pose here. Think about how long your body is right now. Your torso, your spine, all that space. One more breath. And we're going to come on back down. We're going to make our way back into downward facing dog pose. So come into your dog. Walk a little bit if you need to. Good. And then let's come on out to plank. Do a little side plank work. You can put your right knee down if you want and do that shift to that right knee. Bring the left hand up You can do full side plank if you want. Just play a little bit, let yourself have fun there, and then come on down, back to plank, and you can go the other side. So again, you can put your knee down, you can stack your feet up, you can come into your full or half side plank, let it feel good, and then we'll come on back down with the hand. We're going to make our way back to down dog from there, and you're on your own. So if you'd like to do vinyasas or kriyas, go for it. Take your time, move through, put your knees down if you need to. Really be mindful of what you need to do to make you feel better today. Especially if you've been away from yoga for a while, and don't push through. We'll finish off. Get evened out a little bit. We're going to meet back in down dog. Good. And then from here, we're going to bring our left foot forward. We're coming up for warrior two. So do have your blocks handy for this one too. Line your heels up. And then start to float your arms up. Take a look at that left knee. Make sure you're fine there. Rotate your palms up like we did earlier, so that instead of the elbows being really bent though, come into straight arms. Your arms are straight, your palms are up. You can soften the tops of your shoulders. Look out for a second over that left palm there. Let yourself enjoy that. And then see if you can make just little loose fists with your hands. Turn the hands the other way, and then open them that back again with the palms down. All of that without feeling like you're changing, tensing up in your shoulders, right? Feel the feet in the floor. Good. Press the feet gently away from each other. And then we'll turn the left palm up. We're going to inhale, reach up towards the sky. Nice full breath here into the left side. And on the exhale, we'll come into side angle. So your left hand or forearm can be on your thigh. As you bring that right arm on up into line, press into that hand or forearm on your thigh there. Let yourself draw your outer left hip back. And just enjoy. Nice. One more breath. We're going to come back to warrior two, pressing those feet away from each other. And now from here, we're going to straighten the front left knee out, turn our feet more parallel, right? So come into a five-pointed star. Let your feet be just as wide apart where you feel comfortable. Arms out a little higher than your shoulders are, so that you feel really easily into that shape of a five-pointed star. Feel the sense of the tailbone, not tucking under you, remember, but reaching back and down. Good. So one more breath there. And then bring your arms on down, and we're going to turn our toes out a little bit and come into a bit of a goddess. So bend your knees a bit. Keep your hands down on your thighs for a second. In fact, you can kind of almost like use your hands to press down a little bit on the outer thighs here to think about those outside thighs dropping down. Knees lining up. And then bring your arms on up and out. Bend your elbows. Come into your goddess arms, into your goddess squat. See if you can lift your right heel a little off the floor. And then bring it down. See if you can lift your left heel a little off the floor. And then bring it down. If you want to go for both, go for it. And then bring both those heels on down. We're going to straighten our legs out. Bring our arms down. Now from here, all we're going to do is we're going to turn to face the back door for a warrior two. Turn your right toes to face towards the back of the room there. And then start to bend your right knee, coming into your warrior two, reaching out through the fingertips. Make sure that left foot is about parallel to the back edge of the mat, or if you need to send your heel back further, do. You might even want to look at it. Feel those feet in the floor, soften the shoulders down. Now turn the palms up. Keep reaching out through the fingertips and see how that feels in the top of your shoulders. Make the little loose fists with the hand. Now when you turn them over, see what happens in your shoulders. See if you can still stay soft at the top. And then reach out through your hands again. We're going to turn the right palm up and inhale. Reach up towards the sky into that reverse warrior. And on the exhale, we're going to come into side angle. So hand or forearm on the thigh. Adding that left arm up into line if you choose to. Of course, if your shoulder bothers you, keep your hand down. Just enjoy that length through both sides of the body. Nice, easy breaths. Good. One more breath. We're going to come on back into Warrior Two, pressing those feet away from each other as we come. And this time, we'll bring our hands down. We'll turn our feet parallel. And we're going to come on forward into a wide-legged forward bend. So, you know, if you don't have your blocks there and you know you like them, grab them. Take your time. Start to adjust by bending a knee at a time when you get there. And, you know, if you like to turn the toes out and do those bendings of the knees where your toes are turned out, because that feels really good, you know, lifting the feet up or going down with your hips do. Just kind of play. Find where the places are in your body that you need to get a stretch, right? And take your time, you know, fiddle around as much as you need, but then when you feel ready to come back to be still and be in the pose, get really comfortable. I mean, seriously, if blocks underneath your head feel good, or blocks under your forearms, so that you can feel like, oh, that whole upper body can just, it's like a big sigh with your upper body, just a relief. And it's very easy to accept your breaths in and out. Very easy to find those little spaces between your breaths. And just imagining that you let go a little deeper every time you reach one of those little spaces between your breaths. One more nice, full, deep breath. And then take your time. When you're ready to walk your hands on out, we'll walk back over towards that left foot. Come on back into lunge, and we'll make our way back into downward facing dog pose. If you need to walk to the tops of the feet a few times, do. If you're ready to come into some final vinyasas or kriyas, by all means do. Take your time. You know, maybe you don't want to do any back bends. Maybe you just want to go from plank back to dog. Maybe you do want to move to the back bending. Totally up to you. Good. So if you're doing something that gets you uneven, go ahead and even yourself out so we can meet back in down dog. And then we'll bend our knees really deeply. Think about our belly coming onto our thighs. You can glance up between your hands, decide if you want to jump or walk your way forward, and then bring yourself on forward with your feet coming into your Uttanasana. If you like to hold your elbows, do. Just for another couple of nice, easy breaths. Feel grounded equally through your feet. Feel your arches lifting up. And then letting your hands come on up to your hips. We're going to rise straight on up. And inhale our arms all the way out and up overhead. And on our exhale, let our hands come down. Let your head float up. Let your feet be grounded. Let your body adjust its way into your mountain pose. Finding that quiet strength of simply standing. And we will unfold our arms on down beside us and move around a little bit. Let's bring bring our mats all the way into a wall, okay? So, a lot of space today. Just find a spot to be. Stay here. And let's come, once you get everything over here, let's come to stand on our left foot with our left hand towards the wall. And at first, just come into a little tree pose, whether you want to keep your right foot down below your knee on your shin, on your calf there, or you want to bring your foot up to your inner thigh. And let it be a kind of an easy tree, right? Don't force anything. If you're not feeling in the balanced spirit today, then, you know, keep your hand on the wall if you need. Experiment a little bit with trying to let go, but then if it feels like you better hold on, then do. You can vary your arms as well. Remember, you can change your arms in your tree, which really challenges the balance. Good. And now put your left hand back on the wall. Bring your right hand down to bring your knee, your right knee, up towards your shoulder. So you're holding your knee, your foot comes off your leg, and you're just drawing your knee up towards your shoulder. Hopefully it feels kind of good. Now, if you can hook behind that thigh and extend the leg out long, do. Or maybe you want to reach to the inside of your foot, maybe even do a big toe hold, and extend your leg out long there. Or you can hold on to the foot. You don't have to do the big toe, right? You can hold the foot, you can let yourself extend the leg as much as you can. You can balance there if you want. And then let the knee bend again. We're going to put the right foot behind us. Get hold of the top of the foot if you can. Bend your left knee quite a bit. All right? So really feel that left quad. You're right there. You've got the foot. And then you decide, as you start to come forward with your chest and back with your knee, you can come a little straighter in the left knee. Just make sure you're not blocking it. And maybe you want to balance there in dancer's pose. Pressing the foot into the hand. Obviously, don't do it if it feels like you need the wall. Use the wall. Good. One more breath. And then let that foot come on down. Good. Take care of the leg you're standing on. Turning on around to the other side. Do whatever you need to do, remember. So the right foot will be the support, the right leg. The left foot comes in for your tree pose. Again, it can be any height. You just don't want to push your foot into your knee. You all know that. You want to be above or below the knee. And then again, you may decide to hold on to the wall for dear life. You may decide you want to let yourself just stay with your hand there. And sometimes it's even fun to close your eyes with your hand on the wall. Just experience your tree pose there with your eyes closed and really being able to focus on what's going on in the body here. Foot gently coming into the inside of your leg gently coming back into your foot. If you like to change your arms, you can. Good. Now, as your arms come down, you're going to let your left hand draw your left knee up towards your shoulder so the foot comes off your leg. And again, this might be enough. You may not need to straighten the leg out. You may want to try a little bit. You don't have to go very far. Or you can reach, get hold of your foot or your big toe. You can let yourself extend that leg. Totally up to you. You can balance there if you choose. And then bring the foot back down. Send the knee down beside your other knee. Reach back and get hold of the top of your foot. And now here, bend that right knee a little bit, remember. Like really press into the floor with your right foot. Send the left knee back a little, the chest forward. And if you want to straighten your leg up a little bit, that's fine. Let yourself come into balance here if you choose to. Hand can stay on the wall. You can balance. Keep pressing that left foot into the left hand. Nice. going to release and come on down. And we're going to turn our back to the wall and see if you can slide down. Now, if you want to squat, just like this, with your feet wider here, hands or forearms above your knees, do. If you can squat all the way down, you haven't been back to the wall recently to do your squat, to where you really have that sense of being able to draw your back into the wall when you're squatted, then try that. And if your heels feel like they don't want to come down in this one, you can also decide to put support underneath your heels there, and then come back into the wall, and it's almost like you're kind of sitting on your blanket too, but it feels pretty darn good. If it doesn't feel good to get your heels down, but so just play, let it feel really easy, like a release. Stay up. If it's too much for your knees to come down and squat, don't do it. But the wall back there can be really helpful. I even like to breathe into my back ribs on the wall. And we're right here, so it'll be pretty easy to come all the way forward. Go ahead and move your blanket out of the way if you have it there. Come on back to let your toes touch the wall. And really reach your arms long overhead in your child's pose for a breath. Good. And then, next inhale, let's come up to all fours. And as we come up into that dog with heels up the wall, let it be maybe a longer dog than you usually do, right? Because we're going to try to come from this dog right out to plank and right through into an up dog without moving our hands. And then come back into that dog again, right? So once you get your hands just the right place, it's pretty easy to move out to that plank and to keep on going through into your up dog, and then to reach back again into dog heels up the wall. This time, once you get back into dog heels up the wall, get your feet a little closer together if you can, and see if you can send your right foot up the wall. Curl the toes under, hug your elbows towards each other. Feel your hip pointer bones being drawn towards each other with your belly. And then put that right foot down and put your left foot up the wall if you can. You don't have to do all these, and you know it. Zip up the belly, elbows hug in. You're really pressing back out of your hands because you're quite a bit far forward with your hands. And then put that foot on back down. Let's bend the knees and shift back to rest in child's pose, or maybe it feels better to you just to sit right up on your feet. So just rest for a couple of breaths, however you want to, whether you want to be in child's pose or sitting up, making that little bowl with your heels so that you really release the tops of the feet. And then if you want to work a little bit more on inversion, whether it's coming to the forearms, going back to those handstand preparations, you can play a little bit, right? So, perhaps you don't want to be up on your hands anymore, or maybe you do, maybe you like to work a little bit towards handstand work, right? Maybe it feels better to be on your forearms and get out of your hands. Maybe you don't want to do any of this at all. So just take your time, practice where you need. If anybody wants a third block for 3-block dolphin, I'll be happy to bring you one. So just tell me if you do. And if you feel better to rest, you find the best way for you to rest. There's always lying with legs up the wall if you want. There's always letting yourself rest in child's pose, or allowing yourself any other, anything else that you need. So if you're done, be done. If you feel like you want to go up one more time, let it be a little short one up. And we are all going to head towards doing a little pigeon pose now. So if you need, for pigeon, you do not want to do that full pigeon, bringing your left knee towards the corner of your mat. You can always lie on your back and do that figure 4 where you cross your ankle above your knee. And if you feel like a blanket sounds really good in pigeon pose to support that bent knee side, do it, right? So you're comfortable to be there. Take your time, get yourself adjusted, come down when you're ready, as low as you want to be, whether you want to stay on your forearms or maybe you feel like you want to go ahead and rest your head on your hands. Remember that knee angles towards the left front corner of your mat, and the left heel kind of comes in just a little towards your hip pointer bone, maybe a little higher. And just enjoy letting yourself release there. Breathe into where you need it. If you feel really tight a certain place in your hip, or maybe it's in your back, let yourself bring your breath to where you need it. If you do want a little more, you can come up and thread the needle with your right arm. So it's the opposite arm that comes through as the leg that's forward. You can lay on that side of your head. You can, if you want, put your left hand up. You might even be able to reach around and get your left foot with your hand, if that feels really good. I mean, sometimes in a shoulder that feels just amazing, sometimes not good. Now really feel the breath. Feel the expansion of the belly as you inhale. more time, coming up to the top and over to the right. Again, just let yourself be mindful, and sometimes it just feels natural to let your head turn away from the direction your knees are going. And mine just kind of naturally wanted to do that, but just go where it feels really good to you. Take your time. Bring yourself back up when you're ready. When you uncross, straighten your spine out, and then do exactly what your body wants you to do. Whether it's bringing the knees in, doing a little happy baby, doing a little Baddha Konasana, doing another little twist, right? You can always let the knees go side to side again without being crossed. Anything. Your body might feel like doing anything. Or might feel like doing nothing. But take your time. I'm going to walk around and see. Remember, you've got a wall there against your head. If you want to turn around, line your legs up while you can. I can always bring you a bolster if you need for lying back on your spine or putting under your knees to change the angle of your pelvis. And also a blanket. What would you like?
A long skinny bolster.
Right.
Please.
So if you're chilly, even if it's just your feet, I can come cover up. Yeah, you're lying right down. You weren't moving on. So if you need something for cover, let me know. Because lying down here, you might start to get a little chilly. Good. Just be with your breath. Nothing you need to do in order to breathe. Imagine there's nowhere you need to go. You can just let yourself enjoy these few quiet, empty minutes. Giving your body and your brain a little bit of time to benefit how they need without you getting in the way, which means all you need to do is just keep coming back to your breath, letting those little quiet places come in. And just give yourself the gift of these few minutes, letting yourself completely and fully relax. certainly going to be cold. Bless you.